Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Plant Powered. I'm your host, Christy K. And as you know, I've spent decades in the education and fitness industry, and I am driven to continue learning and provide you with knowledge that will empower you to make conscious decisions about the way you live your life in the best possible way. Before we dive into today's topic, don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment below. If you love the content, that's incredible. If you have suggestions, even better. I want to make this time as valuable for you as possible. Today, I want to dive into the biggest obstacle each of us have faced when we want to change the way our bodies look and the way that we feel. I have not met one single person who has wanted to change a behavior and hasn't fallen off the wagon, whether that's a change in eating habits, exercising, cleaning the house more often, you name it. Our monkey minds play tricks on us every day and convince us to veer off the path that just days or even hours ago we were confident that we were going to go down. You might find a bag of chips in the pantry. You might go to a birthday party. Maybe it's just a Friday night. You name it. Our brains come up with the most random reasons and excuses why we should not hold true to our goals, and then we falter or we fall off the wagon. Then what happens? Well, then we feel guilty. We go to bed feeling full and gross. Our brains again chime in and tell us that we failed. The next day comes around, we say to ourselves, okay, starting on Monday, I'm going to commit. I'm going to do this. And the cycle just goes on for months and years, and sometimes our whole lives. We live each day sort of oscillating between high motivation, usually happens sometime in the morning, and then regret and failure when we go to bed every night. At least that's how it was for me, and I don't think I'm much different than many of you out there. And I just want you to think about that for a little bit. Just what a crappy way to live every day. What a crappy way for your brain to tell you and shame you, really, into feeling bad about yourself. So today, I want to offer you 2 tips that has worked for me. The first tip is following the 2-day rule, if you've ever heard of this. The 2-day rule is a productivity and habit building technique. It essentially means that you should avoid missing whatever goal you've set for 2 days in a row. So this works really well for us that are in fitness with fitness goals in mind. So like, for example, if something comes up and we miss a workout or we indulge in a meal that we weren't planning on, again, like our monkey brains, right, tells us to just give up. And we throw our hands up in the air. We forget about our goals for that whole weekend. We say we're going to start again on Monday. Then Monday rolls around and maybe something else comes up that makes you go through the drive-through or snack while you're watching TV. Again, days pass. It's a month, 2 months down the road before we stop and actually notice what happened. Then we reset our goals and attempt them again. With this 2-day rule, it allows ourselves the grace and flexibility to mess up, to overindulge, knowing that we will get back on track the next day. The 2-day rule allows us a time frame of 2 days to address any events that are coming, to plan and prepare, to get our mind right, and it helps us avoid losing momentum and maintain consistency. Also, it allows us to live just a more sustainable and realistic lifestyle while making progress toward our goals. There's a couple of tips to implement the 2-day rule. I would suggest finding a support team or a support system, some people, something in your life, whether it's an app to track, journaling, maybe it's hiring a trainer to help you with accountability, maybe it's reaching out to a friend just to check in, whatever that support system looks like for you. And then give yourself room for slip-ups and recommit to your goals. Okay, so the second tip is tracking your macros weekly instead of daily. Now, this one was a bit harder for me to adapt to, but once I trusted the process, it was really a game changer. So for years, I would track my macros, whether that was calories, it was my weight, it was my food. I would track it day by day. And if I went over on a day or if I messed up, my monkey brain, because I am a perfectionist, and I know a lot of us are in this industry, and now a lot of you who are listening to this would resonate with this. But my monkey mind easily took over when I would slip up for just one day and it would tell me to give up, much like the cycle we talked about before when I was explaining the 2-day rule. Then, as I was studying and doing some research into how effectively to transition my body and to recomposition it following my lifestyle, I ran into this concept of tracking macros by the week and not the day. And at first I didn't think it was legit. It was so ingrained in me that I had to be perfect every day in order to see maximum results. But that really just wasn't sustainable for me. I would get off track very easily and I would just go through this like yo-yoing process again and again. So I tested it by tracking my foods and looking at a weekly average instead of daily counts. And I got to tell you, I haven't looked back since. Tracking macros by week rather than day to day really allows for more flexibility in your routine. It reduces a ton of stress because you're not hyper focused on hitting exact numbers every day. So you can focus more on making healthy choices overall throughout the week. It also provides a more accurate picture of your overall nutritional intake by averaging out the fluctuations across the week, which, as we know, can be caused by a factor of things like hydration levels, digestive variations, essentially focusing on the overall trend rather than daily spikes or dips. And you know how we've all heard now that weighing every day in the morning or the same time, it doesn't paint a good picture of our weight either. Well, same idea here. Our weight and measurements fluctuates from day to day, from time to time, based on water retention and so forth. So looking at the weekly average provides a much more accurate picture of progress. Also, a more relaxed approach to macro tracking is just more sustainable, and it encourages a long-term lifestyle change rather than the strict adherence mindset that we often think of when we are dieting. That all being said, for some people, daily tracking might still be necessary or wanted. For example, people with specific dietary needs or those aiming for very precise body composition changes, y'all might benefit from stricter daily macro tracking, but that's of course up to the individual. Also, I will add that we still need to be mindful, right, of overall intake. Everything is okay in moderation, as they say. So even when tracking weekly, it is important to be conscious of your choices and avoid overindulging on certain days, expecting to make up for it later in the week. Almost think of it like a budget. If you don't have the cash in the bank, you can't afford it. So that's it. Those are my 2 tried and tested tips that I wanted to share with you all today. The 2-day rule and tracking macros weekly. Both of these will help you live a sustainable and just more realistic, a less stressed life while still progressing toward your health and fitness goals. I hope you enjoyed this episode and found some helpful, insightful things that you can walk away feeling empowered to make choices that will improve your life, your family's life, and the world around you. I recommend you do your own research always and find motivation to make changes in your family's life. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like, and leave me comments. If you like what you hear, then great. Let me know. If you don't, even better. Tell me what I can do to make this time more valuable to you. I've spent decades in the education and training industry, and I am truly driven to provide the best content that I can that makes a difference. So subscribe, like the videos, shorts, posts, and leave me feedback. If you found this video just by searching your own on YouTube, be sure to check out my full channel. I have some other content like short tips and tricks in the kitchen, how to build muscle while eating meals full of plant-based proteins. I even have short workout clips in there if you're looking for something quick to get your heart rate up, or if you're looking just to push yourself a little bit harder that day. You can repeat some of the blocks for bigger and faster results. So head over there, subscribe, like, and comment. I'm Christy K, owner of Plant Powered Strength and Nutrition, and this has been another installment of Plant Powered. Have a great week, my friends.